Yes, the Pokal final hitting the calendar this weekend. Leipzig taking on Eintracht Frankfurt, and it's another chance to see some of the Bundesliga's brightest stars like Christopher Nkunku and Randall Kolo Muani. It's also another chance to hear Derek Rae on the call. He's with us now here on ESPN FC. Great to have you with us, Derek. What a final this is set to be.
Hi, Kate. Great to be with you. And yes, it's an intriguing final. Leipzig, of course, trying to win it again. Their first major trophy secured last season when they beat Freiburg at the Berliner Olympiastadion. Eintracht Frankfurt, Cup specialists. We saw what they did in the Europa League last season to book for themselves a Champions League place. And only two teams have won the Pokal more often than Frankfurt down the years. Those two sides being Bayern and Werder Bremen. Frankfurt victorious against Bayern in the final in 2018. And we've also got, and I'll hold this up to the camera, hopefully you can see it, das Duell der Superstürmer, the duel of the super strikers. And of course we're talking about Randall Kolo Muani and Christopher Nkunku. Nkunku's last game, maybe the same for Kolo Muani. So a lot to like about this final if you're a neutral.
Tell us what's the latest then, Derek. You mentioned it on the future of Christopher Nkunku.
Well, I think with Christopher Nkunku, he's the kind of player who is very unpredictable. And so it's a question of how you stop him. And he's not easy to stop, quite honestly. He's different in comparison with Kolo Muani. He won't necessarily come from deeper positions and make those timely runs, but he's just got such an array of skills that he can be very difficult to defend against. And Frankfurt, of course, will have done their homework, and I'll be interested to see if it's a back four or a back three. It's usually a back three preferred by Oliver Glasner, but I won't be too shocked if it's a four on this occasion.
If Nkunku is to go to Chelsea, Derek, and to play under Mauricio Pochettino, how do you see him fitting in there?
Well, I think he's the kind of player who can fit in with any club. Obviously, Chelsea have their way of playing, which is not the same as Leipzig's way of playing. But you can use him as a centre-forward. You could use him off the front. You could use him wide if you had to. He's just one of these players who you would anticipate being a good fit. Now, Chelsea and the current guys, of course, you know, have had their problems. And maybe he's not going to get the chances that he gets playing for Leipzig. And they've developed a system that really is suited very well to Christopher Nkunku. But, you know, we've known for a while this is going to be the move that he'll make, and he'll certainly want to go out on a high before that shift to life in London. So,
will you give us a prediction for the final, Derek, or not?
Well, I don't really like to make predictions on games that I'm commentating on, Kay. But what I will say is I think this might go the distance. I wouldn't be shocked if it goes to extra time as it did last season. Leipzig did it the hard way, of course, down to 10 men for much of that final with Marcel Halstenberg sent off. So I'm going to say this will go all the way to extra time and penalties, and then it's a toss of the coin.
I understand that, Derek. Obviously, being on the call, it's always a difficult one.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.